My name is Andrew Sedillo. I'm the Director of Microcredentials Instructional Design at New Mexico State University. I oversee microcredentialing that goes on at the university. If you're not familiar with what microcredentials are, they're short, a lot of times bite-sized courses that usually focus on one skill, one competency. So I oversee that. It's the microlearning program. In addition to that, I'm heavily involved with our university metaversity program. So we actually have a digital twin of our university in which we provide educational experiences in. So we work with faculty in helping them identify areas where virtual reality can be of support to their current courses, and we help them put together VR learning experiences to support a lot of their learning objectives within their courses, and even offer opportunities for them to engage with their students in ways that they probably never thought possible. So one of the great things that we have going is that I mentioned is we have the metaversity. So we have a digital twin campus, and with this digital twin campus allows for instructors to do is they can actually host live sessions in which they can interact with students. They can also do it asynchronously if they wanted to create, lessons in VR, such as like simulations, or record themselves providing some type of lecture. What's really unique about this is that, again, they get to meet with students in a virtual reality environment and really take learning to the next level. So our current instructors who are using it, and this is kind of what's a little different about the way we use VR, is that they're entirely online. So we have our courses that are supporting VR currently, and we have some too that are in person, but a majority of them are entirely online. And that was a big reason for why we wanted to begin using virtual reality, because we wanted to provide students who are completely online with the same experience that somebody live would get. So what we're able to also do within using virtual reality is that we're able to then bring students into this immersive environment where they're free from those distractions and they're able to be active participants in the learning experiences that we're able to provide. One of the things I was able to do then is get involved with our metaversity team to help other instructors integrate virtual reality into their classrooms. And it started from one class to now we're supporting criminal justice, business, Spanish, hotel resorts, tourism management, dental courses, and the list keeps going on and on. We're extremely excited and love this technology. We're getting great feedback by both our instructors and our students, so we're looking forward to taking things to the next level. And in fact, we actually recently bought about 90 Quest 3s to continue to build our program. One of the things that was important to me is that I wanted to create an experience that I think would be useful that doesn't really exist right now. So rather than just making a typical lesson that, hey, look, this is a cool VR lesson that students can go through, I wanted to do something different and think of it as like a professional development for instructional designers. There's a big interest of instructional designers who want to design immersive learning experiences. They just don't know where to begin, what type of tools to use. And so I wanted to provide them a space that not only educates an instructional designer about some of the benefits of virtual reality, but once they go through this simulation by themselves, they can always repurpose this learning experience when working with a subject matter expert. Now, imagine you're an instructional designer and you want to educate subject matter experts on how to use virtual reality tools. That can be a little bit more difficult because anything's possible in VR, which makes it super awesome. So what I did is that an instructional designer can then invite a subject matter expert into this lesson, and what they do is they go into this kitchen. Okay, and I've called it the instructional designer kitchen. So you'll see that there's little tags on the very top, and it'll say like menu item 1, 2, 3, and then there's actually a description of what the instructional designer would do with the subject matter expert to educate them on the possibilities of VR. So for instance, they go to menu item number 1, and what the instructional designer would be able to educate them on is immersion and interactivity, where they're able to grab, I believe it's the moon and the sun, and place it onto a shelf next to Earth. And then they go into menu item 2, which is actually a ping pong table And I was able to create an interactive where they throw up the ball and they can play ping pong. And the idea is that they build relationships with the subject matter expert. And then they go to menu item number 3. And in that one, you're talking about simulation and role play. And so within this space, what they're doing is they're taking the role of a waiter, they're grabbing the cup and they're giving it to the guest. And it's just to get them thinking, okay, cool, I just took the role of a waiter and I was able to do that. Then they go to menu item number 4, where it's all about choice. And what the instructional designer would educate them on is that here's an example of like how you can do choice in any virtual environment. In this specific example, they want them to choose what breakfast item they would, probably grab from this wall. So they go and there's donuts, there's vegetables, there's fruits, and it's kind of another fun way of how they can communicate. So somebody grabs a donut, oh, you like donuts? It creates that conversation. And then the very final piece to wrap everything up is I put a basketball hoop. Probably could have put like a dumpster, but I wanted to put the basketball hoop because it's fun. But what I did is on the floor, I put a bunch of items that would probably be, hazardous where people could slip and fall. So there's like an egg, a tomato, and a banana. And the idea is that you tell the subject matter expert to grab any of those from the floor and shoot them into the hoop. And that's another opportunity to share like, oh man, there's many benefits. One, cost. So if you ever look, and that's what scares people away from VR is the cost. So if you go to any company and ask them, hey, how much would it be for you to design us any type of simulation? I mean, some of the lowest that you're going to look at is maybe 10 grand. And then it goes above and beyond from there. So one, you're going to save costs. And then two, everyone's so unique. That's one of the really cool things too. And talking from an instructional designer's point of view is that when you meet with your subject matter expert, you understand their audience, you understand the learning experiences that they want to provide to the learner so that they can learn the topic, and they can also have opportunities to show mastery of the learning objectives. And so it's a case by case situation. Not all learning experiences are going to be the same. So having that flexibility to, hey, if we go into this room, I can design you this pretty easily. We can work together and collaborate and build on the go. This is what I have available asset wise, and let's make it work for your class. So that way you're not just stuck with the same cookie cutter, tutorials or cookie cutter lesson every time. Now you can actually have the flexibility to customize it for anyone at any given time, and it's a lot of fun to use. So I think that's one thing that's going to really stand out for people is the fact that it makes creating new learning experiences very easy. I mean, number one, you just got to get a headset on. You really need to get a headset on. Anyone you talk to who's big in virtual reality will tell you their first experience with headsets. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes people get motion sick and it's not the best experience for them. But then what happens is it's important to keep on trying things. There's pretty much an experience for anyone out there. There's exercise games, there's entertainment games, there's learning experiences, there's meditating experiences. I mean, the list goes on and on. So what I would recommend is you get a headset, you find something that you really enjoy, and see an experience in VR of what it's like, because that's going to make you come back and want to keep doing it more. But from there, you start understanding the possibilities of VR, which are endless. There's just a lot of opportunity to create things and make things come to life in ways you never thought possible. And I feel that once you get comfortable with that VR use, then you can start exploring more apps like Zoe, where you are comfortable with staying in a headset for a long while. You're comfortable using the controls. So that way, when you're in this space, you get it. You understand when you have access to, let's say, assets that allow you to create buildings or actually place objects in certain places, you're more comfortable doing it. And you'll find that that's where all the ideas will start storming in, because now you've gotten past that initial scared phase of like, oh, VR is new to me. Now you're comfortable using it, and then you're finding tools that serve purposes for what you're doing, and you start thinking about more ways of how you can begin using it for what you currently do. I found surprising how easy it was. That's the number one thing, because when I first looked at it, I was like, "Whoa, this is gonna be a lot of work. I hope I have enough time." Just very much like the things you're hearing. But what I was able to do is, actually put it together. And then once I did it, I was like, "Man, this is so simple." It was like the easiest thing ever. A very simple process, and I think that was the most surprising thing, because generally when I use other tools, like I'll throw some out there, like Victory XR Labs or Engage, to create these learning experiences. They take me hours to do, and they use a combination of both headset and then also computer based editing that I have to do, and then it's like back and forth, upload a bunch of items from my end. So what I liked about this is that a lot of the stuff was already built in.